What if I told you that sometimes the words a man says are not just careless phrases, but red flags that predict pain, manipulation, and a broken future? Imagine being able to recognize those hidden signals before it is too late. Imagine knowing exactly when a man's words reveal his true intentions so you can protect your heart and walk away before you get trapped in a relationship that will only drain you. This is not about being paranoid. This is about being smart, alert, and aware of the subtle ways men expose who they really are. Because believe me, a man can fake actions for a while, but his words always betray him. And when he says certain things to you, he is basically showing you a sign that screams, "Leave now before the damage is irreversible." Think about it for a moment. How many times have you ignored a phrase because you thought, maybe he didn't mean it that way, or, "I'm overreacting, it's just a slip." But later, after the lies, after the tears, after the betrayal, you remembered that phrase again and realized it was the first clue. That was the moment you should have left. Every woman who has suffered in love has a story like this. A moment when the truth was whispered in words she didn't want to believe, and the pain that followed was simply the price of not listening to her intuition when those words first came out of his mouth. This is why today's topic is so important, because in this video, I am going to reveal the 5 specific things a man might say that should make you run, without looking back. Not walk away slowly, not give him a second chance, not stay to see if he changes. No, run. Because each of these phrases is not just a random sentence, it's a confession of his mindset. A mindset that is dangerous for your emotional health, your self-esteem, and even your future. And let me be clear, I am not here to scare you or make you suspicious of every word your partner says. I am here to give you the knowledge that most women only learn after years of disappointment. Knowledge that can save you from wasting your precious time, your energy, and your love on someone who never deserved it. Because the truth is simple. If a man truly values you, respects you, and wants to build something real with you, there are certain things he will never allow himself to say. And if he does say them, it means something inside him has already shifted. Something that puts you in danger. Not physical danger, necessarily, but emotional danger, which can sometimes leave even deeper scars. So if right now you are in a relationship, and you hear one of these phrases, you need to pay attention. If you are dating and testing the waters with a new man, these phrases are your filter to know if he's worth your time, or if you should cut him off before he even gets closer to your heart. And if you are healing from a breakup, these phrases will help you look back and finally understand why things fell apart. They will give you clarity, so you never repeat the same mistake again. The worst part is that these 5 phrases don't sound so shocking at first. They sound simple, casual, even normal. That is why so many women ignore them. But when you dig deeper, when you analyze the real meaning behind them, you realize they are warnings. They are signs that his values, his intentions, and his view of you are not aligned with the kind of relationship you deserve. A man who says these things is not planning a future with you. He is planning an escape, a manipulation, or simply a way to keep you under his control without giving you what you need in return. This is why you need to stay with me until the very end of this video, because each one of these 5 phrases has layers. Layers of meaning that I'm going to peel back for you, one by one, so that you will never again be caught off guard by the subtle poison hidden in his words. And the last phrase, number 5, is the most dangerous of all. It is the one that looks the most innocent on the surface, but once you understand what it really means, you will see why it is the ultimate sign that you need to walk away immediately. Your heart, your peace of mind, and your future happiness are worth more than any man who dares to speak these words to you. So let's uncover the truth together. Listen carefully, because the signs are always there. You just have to know how to hear them. And today I am going to make sure you never miss them again. Let me take you into the story of a woman I will call Anna. Anna was smart, beautiful, and independent. She had her own career, her own apartment, and friends who loved her. But like many women, she wanted something more. A partner who would stand by her side, love her fully, and share a future with her. When she met Daniel, she thought she had finally found it. He was charming, funny, and attentive. In the beginning, he texted her every morning, brought her small gifts just to make her smile, and told her how lucky he felt to have her. It all seemed perfect, almost like a fairy tale. But fairy tales often hide shadows. The first time she heard something strange, it was so small that she didn't even take it seriously. They had a disagreement about a dinner plan, and he suddenly said, "You're too sensitive, Anna." Just those 3 words, too sensitive. She laughed it off, thinking maybe she was overreacting. After all, couples argue. Maybe she was indeed a little too emotional. But that was the first crack. The first phrase that carried more weight than she realized. Because hidden inside those words was a message. Your feelings are not valid. And once a man starts making you doubt your own emotions, he starts to gain control over you. Months went by. Anna still believed Daniel was the one. He was passionate. He introduced her to his friends, and he knew exactly how to make her feel special when he wanted to. But every now and then, he would say something that left her uneasy. Once, during a conversation about marriage, he told her, "I don't believe in forever." Another time, when she asked about meeting his parents, he replied, "Let's not complicate things." Each phrase felt like a small sting, but she loved him, and love has a way of silencing alarms. She convinced herself that words are just words, that what matters are actions. She wanted so badly to believe in the man she thought he was, that she ignored the man he was showing her he truly was. And this is exactly how many women get trapped. Not because they are weak, but because they are hopeful. Because they see the potential in a man and cling to it, even when his words are telling the truth about his intentions. Daniel's phrases were not random. They were confessions. He was showing her that he was not planning a life with her, that he didn't see her emotions as important, and that he was keeping her at a distance while still enjoying her presence when it suited him. But Anna didn't see it, at least not yet. The breaking point came one evening after almost 2 years together. They were having dinner, and Anna asked him where he saw their relationship going. She wanted clarity. She wanted honesty. He looked at her, smiled, and said, "I never promised you anything." That sentence cut through her like a knife. It was as if all the little phrases from before had been building up to this moment. Suddenly, everything made sense. The casual comments, the avoidance, the way he always brushed off her feelings. They were not accidents. They were signs. And this final sentence was the confirmation that he never truly intended to give her the love and commitment she had been waiting for. Anna left that night. It wasn't easy. Her heart was shattered, but her mind was finally clear. And as painful as it was, walking away saved her years of frustration, disappointment, and wasted love. Looking back, she realized that the signs had been there from the beginning. The phrases were like breadcrumbs leading her toward the truth, but she had ignored them because she wanted to believe in the dream rather than face the reality. Her story is not unique. Every day, women hear these same phrases and tell themselves they don't mean much. They forgive, they excuse, they justify, and in doing so, they allow men to reveal who they truly are, while convincing themselves it's just a misunderstanding. But the truth is that when a man tells you something, especially in the heat of the moment, you need to listen carefully, because words slip out when the mask falls. Words are where the truth hides. Anna's story is a warning. It shows us that these 5 phrases are not harmless. They are windows into a man's real mindset. And once you recognize them, you cannot unhear them. You cannot go back to pretending they don't matter, because they do. They always do. Now it's time to open the curtain and look directly at the 5 phrases no woman should ever ignore. These are not just casual words. They are codes that reveal the truth about a man's intentions. And once you hear them, you need to recognize what they really mean. The first phrase is, "You're too sensitive." At first it sounds almost harmless. Maybe he says it with a laugh, maybe in the middle of an argument. Maybe even when you open up about something that hurt you. But here's the truth. When a man tells you that you're too sensitive, he's not trying to understand your feelings. He's trying to dismiss them. He's placing the problem on you instead of taking responsibility for his actions or words. Over time, this makes you doubt yourself. You start to wonder if you're imagining things, if maybe you're asking for too much. That's how emotional manipulation begins. A healthy man will never shame you for feeling. He will listen. Even if he doesn't agree, he will validate your emotions, not use them against you. The second phrase is, "I don't believe in forever." This may sound like honesty at first. Some women even think, well, at least he's being upfront. But understand this. A man who tells you he doesn't believe in forever is warning you that he is not planning to stay. He is already telling you that commitment is not in his vocabulary. He may enjoy the present with you, but he is preparing the door for an exit. If what you want is a real future, hearing this phrase should make you pause immediately. Because love that avoids the idea of permanence is love that will leave you broken when he decides it's over. A man who values you will not be afraid to say he wants a forever with you. He will make you feel safe in his intentions. The third phrase is, Let's not complicate things. This usually comes up when you start talking about taking the relationship to the next level. Maybe you want to meet his family. Maybe you ask about exclusivity. Maybe you simply ask, "Where are we going with this?" And his answer is to avoid. Let's not complicate things. Translation: I don't want responsibility. I want the benefits of being with you, but without the effort and depth that true commitment requires. This phrase is dangerous because it keeps you in a loop. You stay, hoping he'll eventually move forward, but he keeps you exactly where he wants. Close enough for him, but never close enough for you. That's not love. That's control disguised as simplicity. The fourth phrase is, "You're lucky I'm with you." This one is pure poison. It may sound arrogant, but some men drop it casually, as a joke. Still, the meaning is clear. He is trying to lower your value while inflating his. It's a psychological tactic. By making you feel like you should be grateful to have him, he creates an imbalance. He places himself above you, so that you always feel the need to prove yourself worthy. But here is the truth. No woman should ever feel lucky just to be tolerated by a man. Love is about reciprocity, not superiority. If a man makes you feel like he is a prize you must earn, he is already showing you that he does not respect you as an equal. And finally, the fifth phrase, the most dangerous of all, "I never promised you anything." This is the killer. It usually comes after you've invested your time, your emotions, your heart. You've been patient. You've given him chances. You've tried to build something. And when you ask for clarity, when you demand accountability, he drops this sentence like a bomb. "I never promised you anything." This is not just cold, it's cruel. It's his way of erasing all the things he implied, all the attention he gave, all the signals he sent. It's his way of saying, "You misunderstood. It's your fault for believing me." And with that, he frees himself of all responsibility. But here's the truth. Actions are promises even if they are not spoken. If he acted like your partner, if he treated you like his woman, then he made promises with his behavior. This phrase is a manipulation to make you feel like you're crazy for expecting something real. And if you hear it, it's the final sign that he never intended to give you the love you deserve. These 5 phrases may look different on the surface, but they all have one thing in common. They reveal a man who does not respect your heart. They show a man who is preparing to take from you without truly giving back. And if you accept them, you are silently agreeing to a relationship where your needs will always come last. But here's the good news. Once you know these phrases, you can no longer be fooled by them. Once you hear them, you can step back, analyze, and choose yourself over the empty words of a man who doesn't value you. You can recognize that love is not supposed to be filled with excuses, avoidance, or manipulation. Love is supposed to be clear. Love is supposed to be safe. Love is supposed to make you feel seen, not silenced. So if you ever hear these words, "You're too sensitive," "I don't believe in forever," "Let's not complicate things," "You're lucky I'm with you," or "I never promised you anything," remember Anna's story. Remember that these are not random sentences. They are warnings. And the smartest thing you can do is to listen, trust yourself, and walk away. Because the man who truly deserves you will never make you doubt your worth with words like these. When you ignore these 5 phrases, you don't just risk a bad relationship, you risk losing yourself. Words may seem small, but they shape how you see yourself, how you accept love, and how you define your worth. Every time you excuse one of these phrases, you allow a piece of your confidence to be taken. You allow him to rewrite your reality. And over time, this is how strong, independent women end up trapped in relationships where they no longer recognize who they are. Think of it this way. The first time he says, "You're too sensitive," you may laugh it off. But by the 10th time, you start to silence your emotions. You stop speaking up because you don't want to be labeled as overreacting. You become smaller, quieter, less yourself. And that's exactly what he wants. Control without effort. By the time you realize it, you've already trained yourself to accept less than you deserve. Or take the phrase, "I don't believe in forever." Maybe you convince yourself that you'll change his mind, that your love will be different. But years later, you wake up next to the same man, realizing he never changed. You've given him your youth, your loyalty, and your energy, but he's still the same man who warned you at the beginning that he was never going to commit. And the cruelest part? He told you who he was. You just didn't want to listen. Let's not complicate things may seem like simplicity, but it's a trap. While you wait for him to take the relationship seriously, he enjoys all the benefits of your loyalty without giving you clarity. Months turn into years. and suddenly you realize you've been in a situationship, not a relationship. Meanwhile, he walks away without guilt, because in his mind he never complicated things. The consequence for you? Wasted time, time you can never get back. And when he says, "You're lucky I'm with you," he's planting seeds of insecurity. The longer you stay, the more you start to believe him. You start to question your beauty, your value, your uniqueness. You compare yourself to others, wondering if you really are lucky to have someone who treats you as less than equal. And that mindset follows you even after he's gone. It makes you doubt future relationships, it makes you settle for less, and it convinces you that you're not enough, when the truth is, you always were. The final phrase, "I never promised you anything," is the most devastating, because it's often said after years of investment. It comes when you've already given your love, your trust, your sacrifices, and suddenly with just a few words, he erases all of it. He makes you feel like you imagined the relationship, like you built a castle on sand. The consequence here is not just heartbreak, it's betrayal of your own trust in yourself. It makes you afraid to love again, afraid to believe again, afraid to open your heart. And that is the worst damage of all. Not the loss of him, but the loss of your own faith in love. This is why the urgency is real. Because every day you stay with a man who says these things, you lose time, you lose energy, and you lose pieces of yourself. And time is the one thing you can never get back. You can rebuild your confidence, you can heal your heart, but you can never rewind the years you gave to the wrong person. That is why when you hear these words, you must act fast. Not tomorrow, not next month, not when he changes. Now. Because staying will only make the damage deeper. The truth is, you already know when something feels wrong. Your intuition whispers it to you, but fear, hope, and love often drown out that voice. This is your reminder to listen, to trust yourself more than his excuses, to value your future more than his presence. Because if you don't, the consequences will not just be heartbreak, they will be years of your life you can never recover, and no man is worth that price. So let's bring everything together. You've now seen how simple phrases can reveal the deepest truths about a man's character and his intentions. "You're too sensitive. I don't believe in forever. Let's not complicate things. Why, you're lucky I'm with you. And I never promised you anything." On the surface, they sound ordinary, even harmless. But when you look deeper, you see the reality. Each one is a red flag. Each one is a warning sign that he is not truly invested in you, that he doesn't value you the way you deserve, and that he is more interested in control, convenience, or ego than in building something real. And here's the hard truth. If you stay after hearing these phrases, you are making a choice. You are choosing to believe in potential instead of reality. You are choosing to wait for change that may never come. You are choosing to give pieces of yourself to a man who has already told you, in his own words, that he cannot or will not give you the love you want. That is why it's so important to act, to walk away, to trust that your worth is far greater than any man who tries to minimize it. Because the moment you decide to leave, something powerful happens. You reclaim your strength. You take back the time, the energy, and the love you were giving to someone who didn't deserve it, and you invest it back into yourself. And when you do that, you open the door for the right man, the one who will never say these phrases, the one who will make you feel safe, valued, and loved, the one who will look at you and not see someone who is too sensitive, but someone who is empathetic and real, not someone who should be lucky to have him, but someone he feels lucky to have, not someone to avoid commitment with, but someone he cannot imagine a future without. The truth is, relationships should not be filled with fear, doubt, and endless questions. They should be clear, honest, and reciprocal. If a man really loves you, he will never make you feel small with his words. He will never keep you in uncertainty. He will never take advantage of your loyalty. Instead, he will rise to meet you, he will show consistency, and he will protect your heart with his actions and with his words. So now, the decision is in your hands. You have the knowledge, you have the clarity. The question is, will you listen? Will you respect yourself enough to walk away from anyone who dares to use these phrases against you? Or will you keep hoping that things will magically change? Remember, hope is beautiful, but it is not a strategy. Respect is the foundation of love, and without it, there is no real relationship, only illusion. If this message opened your eyes, if you found yourself thinking of past situations or even of your current relationship, take this as your sign. Don't wait for more proof. Don't wait for more pain. The proof is in the words he already spoke, and the longer you ignore them, the deeper the damage will be. Choose yourself now, because your heart, your mind, and your future deserve better. And before you go, I want you to do two things. First, reflect honestly. Have you ever heard one of these phrases before? Did you ignore it? Did you excuse it? Think about what it cost you, and let that memory be the fuel you use to never ignore it again. Second, if you want more insights like this, truths about men, love, and relationships that no one else will tell you, make sure you subscribe right now. Hit that button, join this community of women who are learning to see through the lies and never again let themselves be deceived. Because together we are rewriting the rules of love, on our terms, not theirs. You deserve a man who doesn't just talk, but proves through his words and his actions that you are his priority. And until you find that, you deserve to walk away from anyone who makes you feel less than the treasure you are. The 5 phrases are warnings, but you are the one who decides what happens next. Choose wisely, choose yourself, and never forget, the love you want is possible, but it begins with refusing to accept anything less.